When Corpse Party was first officially introduced to Western audiences for the first time, it was a game that many people weren't sure how to react to. At first glance, it looked like a horror-themed visual novel, with origins in RPG Maker, and, for the most part, that was an accurate synopsis. However, if one could look past its RPG Maker roots and bright anime vibe, they could experience a game that was dark, disturbing, and legitimately scary. The story behind Corpse Party is a depressing one indeed. In the first game, you play as a group of friends who decide to conduct a ritual that is supposed to bind them together in friendship forever. Instead, it spirits them away to a hellish land full of death and malice, Heavenly Host Elementary School. There is no happy ending here. As the cast is slowly picked off one by one, they learn that Heavenly Host is a bed of suffering that cannot be escaped. Literally, if someone dies here, they are forever forced to suffer in the way that they were killed eternally. A fate truly worse than death. At the end of the first game, many of the main characters are dead, and the player is left with a hollow victory. They may have survived the carnage, but they hardly saved the day, as the souls of everyone who died remain trapped and forever incapable of finding respite. Its sequel took place shortly after that, and carries an overarching theme that once fate has been set, it cannot be changed, and explore the consequences of trying. It has several smaller, short chapters, each one exploring the possibilities of second chances and fighting to overcome death itself. Now we arrive at Blood Drive, the final game in the trilogy, as well as the one with the highest stakes. One of the survivors of the first tragedy fails in casting a dark ritual to bring back the souls of those who lost their lives in the horror-filled realm that the majority of Corpse Party takes place in. She is left with a deep depression that she feels she may never relieve herself from. She feels that the blood of her friends are on her hands, and that she can never be forgiven for the mistakes that she has made. This makes Blood Drive more of a story of a single character's redemption than Corpse Party games of the past, as Ayumi is the main focus of the story. While just about all of the main characters of past games do make an appearance in one way or another, this is Ayumi's story, and she remains the story center from beginning to end. While the story does give many of the characters closure to their tales, the whole story feels a bit off when compared to the games of the past. While the first two games focused on horrifying events, they were relatively small in scale. Kids who performed the charm mentioned earlier would be whisked away to the nightmare that was Heavenly Host, never to return again. The threat in this Blood Drive has grown exponentially, with the evil of Heavenly Host becoming more powerful and seeping into the real world. This change in the scale of the sword has unfortunately made it buckle under the weight of its own ambition. The problem with it is that the first two games, while dealing with a spiritual realm that is filled with demonic horror, it still kept some sort of realism to it. Blood Drive goes somewhat crazy in its storytelling, with new elements such as secret societies, ancient curses, and girls who can pull giant scythes from hammer space, which leads to a bit of disconnection when compared to the earlier games. That being said, the story isn't bad, it's just not as good as the previous stories that we have seen so far. As far as the new gameplay is concerned, it remains largely the same. You make your way through the grime and the muck of this world, going from story segment to story segment, trying to not make any major mistakes that might lead to the death of your character, or worse. This is fine for the most part, however, unlike in past games, there are traps that have been laid out all over the spirit realm, making it very easy to accidentally damage your heroes if you aren't paying attention. While this is good on paper, in actuality, it simply slows the player down as they progress through the game, as they have to intentionally try to not step on certain places or else they might accidentally harm their character. What works better is the new hiding system. Scattered throughout the game, there are various cabinets and hiding places for the character to try and utilize. These can be ignored for the most part, but every now and then you'll find yourself having to run from various specters that roam the halls of the elementary school. From here, you'll be able to tell how far away your pursuers are, eventually getting notification if they gave up and moved on. These can become extremely stressful as you try to find a place to hide while being chased by an unruly ghost. But be careful, because if your hunter sees you enter your hiding place, as far as graphics go, the game has made a significant leap from its predecessors, trading in sprites for chibi 3D design. This newer, cuter look does not prevent the game from being any less grotesque than the previous titles, however. The game manages to keep its horrifying imagery and disgusting sounds from past installments to huge effect. This is not a game for the faint of heart. This is a nasty romp through the blood and pus, wondering if you will ever see the sun again. If you can't possibly fathom why someone would enjoy a story this monstrous, then this is obviously not the game for you. However, if you think you might find this dark tale enjoyable, then please join us and enjoy the horror, tragedy, and dismemberment that is Corpse Party. Thank you guys for watching our review of Corpse Party Book of Shadows. If you enjoyed our review, please like and subscribe, and we will be able to make these videos more often. Also, if you enjoyed my narration for this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so yeah, hopefully I will see you all there. Goodbye.